Hey guys, guess where we're going? We're going to a flip. The question is this one a money maker or a deal breaker? We're going to look at the property and we're going to do the numbers, and then you tell me, is this one, we're right here, it's Brookfield. And guess what? You're going to tell me, does this make money or does this lose money? Let's go in, I'm going to show you how. All right, now we're at the property. So that's it, right? And guess what? The first thing we're going to start about, what do most people do? They run into the property. That's not what you do. First thing you look at is the area. I mean, look at the properties around. The property over there, the property over there. Just beautiful, beautiful properties. And we're in Brookfield. So Brookfield, remember, has 2 school districts. See, that's the difference between the pros, the people who really make money, and guess what? People who don't do so well with flips. This happens to be in the right school district. The area is absolutely phenomenal, right? That's step one, that you have to get the area right, because guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a ton of people interested in your property. Now we're going to go inside, but before we go inside, look at the siding. This property was just bought yesterday. The siding is in excellent condition, right? All of the stucco is in great condition. The chimney and everything over there needs a little bit of work up there, but to the most extent, the property is in great condition. Even the backyard is absolutely beautiful. Has nice couple car garage in the backyard. So has all the elements that you need for a perfect flip. Now we're going to go inside and I'm going to show you what are the things that you're going to do and what are the things that you're going to pass on. Because remember, this is an older home. So you can't make it absolutely like a Taj Mahal, but you want to get it to a point where you maximize your profit, yet provide a beautiful home for the next family that's going to occupy it. So let's go inside. All right, so we're inside the house and I'm going to start with kind of the front entrance, because this property we're going to be pricing at about $400,000. So we want to make sure that we do the right touches, but this is an older house. So keep that in mind. We're not going to do everything, right? So what we're going to do is on the front over here, we're going to, this is kind of the old tile, which is very typical for this area. And then you have vinyl floors over here. So these tiles are going to come out and this vinyl floor is going to remain exactly where it is. And what's going to happen is they're going to kind of basically even it out and then put vinyl plank floor all the way across. So the entrance becomes nice and clean, right? Could we do the tile in the entire thing? Absolutely. But in this particular property, we're not going to do that. There's a room over here. Jack, if you want to kind of just show everybody, that way, this is a kind of a storage room, extra room. And here's the little thing. If you remember, if you see here, what it has is this used to be a deck at one point. In these older homes, because of the less square footage, what they did is they took some of the outer parts, and this is very common in this particular area. So you don't try to finish all of it. You want to get it like about 90% there, not 100%, because that's where you start overspending. Now let's go inside and you're going to see which are the things we're going to touch. And there's some things that are going to be obvious that we are going to kind of pass. So let's start with the first area over here, right? It's this living room area. This goes into the dining room. Here, we're not going to do a whole lot. The carpet is going to get cleaned, steam cleaned. It's going to be nice. There's going to be a coat of paint, and that's going to be pretty much it. Not a whole bunch. Important one here is going to be as we step into the kitchen. So this kitchen is this the perfect layout? No. But remember, it's an older home. So we're going to change all the cabinets. We're going to change the countertops, put granite countertops. We're going to remove that little kind of the nook sort of a thing that they have over here. I'm going to go here and right here, right? The pass-through, because this is, it just looks old. It makes it dated. This is going to be a nice slab of granite over here. All the cabinets are going to be brand new. We're going to put nicer appliances in the property. So these appliances are going to get changed out. This is going to get changed out. So the kitchen, which is one of the selling features, is going to become really nice. Now let's kind of go around and we're going to show you how we're going to clean up the floor plan a little bit, because some of these rooms are kind of a little weird because this is an older house. So since we're at the bathroom, I'm going to just address this one first. This tile here In terms of the tile, it looks very, very dated, right? But it's in really good shape. So what's gonna happen is the whole tile is gonna get all sprayed. It's gonna be nice and ceramic coating on there. So it's gonna look nice, clean, and white. This bathroom, we're not gonna do a whole lot, but we're gonna change the vanity and everything. We're gonna change this because this makes it look dated, and we're gonna put a nice new toilet over there. That's it, because this is not the main bathroom of the house. The main bathroom is upstairs, and we'll talk about it. We're gonna do more things up there than this one. We're doing the kitchen as one of the substantial things on the main floor. Let's look at the other bedroom that we're gonna step into. So as we step into this bedroom, right? This is a nice sized bedroom. We have another bedroom that's gonna be on the other side. So in this bedroom, you have a pretty good size. The problem is this: from this one bedroom, you step into this space, which is these walls. If you notice, this is something that you have to start learning. This is a nice thick wall. What does this mean? This used to be the exterior of the house from this point on, right? So you can't really make this any bigger. You can't take this wall out because that would end up being a structural change to the house. It'd be beautiful to be able to take this out, incorporate all of that in, make a nice master suite. But guess what? That's going to be too much work. So we're going to close this off, make this bedroom separate. So that we're going to have a second bedroom over here, and the entrance from it is going to be from the back. Is it ideal? No, but the entrance is going to be kind of coming from the kitchen into this thing. And in this area, guys, listen, the great part about some of these older homes is that the little bit of quirkiness that in a new home somebody would say, oh my God, this is terrible. In an older home, that's just the character of the home, and people understand those type of things because you can only do so much. But now, instead of having a captured sort of a situation with a weird room with no door, it's going to have a proper closet in here. This is going to be kind of the door coming into it. So you have now 2 bedrooms over here, and then you have 2 bedrooms upstairs. So let's go upstairs, and we're going to take a look what we're going to do up there. Okay, so we're upstairs, and upstairs, this is kind of one of the bigger rooms of the 2. We have another bedroom there we're going to look at, and this is the bigger bedroom over here. So this has kind of a little bit of a funky layout, which we're going to clean up a little bit, right? This is the bedroom here. This is pretty decent sized. And then you have this area where they had kind of these bars over there. Clearly they were using for storage. So this is going to get turned into a proper walk-in closet. So right here is where we're going to put a wall, put a door in the middle over here, and now you're going to have a kind of a U-shaped closet. And here, guess what we have to work with? We have to work with this window, because this window is here. If you take this window out, now you're going to have to basically go back outside and then mess with the siding. We're not going to do that. We're going to just put a closet over there, and then we're going to put a lower rack over here so that people can hang their shirts and so on and so forth. Now you get a proper walk-in closet, and there are a couple of closets there to begin with. We're going to leave them as is. So this will become his closet. That obviously the bigger one is going to become her closet generally, right? Women like bigger closets. This space here, we're not doing a whole bunch to. The fixture is going to get changed out over here, and that's going to be pretty much it. It's fairly simple for this particular bedroom, something to do. Now, the one bath that we need to focus on is this bath, because this bath is kind of weird, right? This tub was after an afterthought that was put in, obviously. So this tub's got to go, right? It has to go. This is where you're going to be selling this property for $400,000. So we need to have at least a couple of features that are nice. Location is great. The house is a nice property in terms of schools, in terms of from a location standpoint of it. But this is something that people will really care about. So this is something where you put a little bit of money in. This entire bathroom, including the tiles, everything is going to come out. Here, we're not going to just spray this over. This is all going to come out. It's going to have a new vanity. It's going to have a new toilet. It's going to have a new kind of a, these mirrors over here are going to go because they're very, very dated. So we're going to bring it up to the standards of what a $400,000 house in this particular area is going to look like. Same thing over here, these walls, right? All these walls are going to get covered over with a 1/4 inch drywall. That's all that's going to happen here, but it'll make a world of difference. As we go into this room is going to be the same thing. Here, the walls are going to get covered up with 1/4 inch drywall, so it's going to look nice and new. And these doors are going to get changed, including all the trim, so that the entire upstairs look like, oh my God, somebody really did a lot of work. This is not a lot of work, guys, but guess what? Perception is reality, right? So including the main floor and upstairs. And then we have one more floor to go, which is the downstairs. And there are some interesting things because this is an older home. And then I'm going to tell you what the budget is to do all these 3 floors. And then we're going to do the numbers. So let's go downstairs. Okay, so we're in the basement. If you kind of realize this is an older basement, right? Older type of support pillars. This is pretty typical for the area. Another thing I want to point out is this sort of a thing. This is a pump to pump water out. A lot of these older properties, they used to, and they still do, they get a little bit of water seepage, which is very common for the area. In a newer property, if you see something like that, people are going to be like, oh my God, right? But yet in some of these older properties, that is how it is. So it's not that big a deal, and people just know how to deal with it. So the important thing in this basement is going to be is to make it clean. If you look at this basement, it just looks like, you know, looks dingy. This stuff is falling down over here. It needs to be cleaned up. It's okay if it's older, but doesn't hurt to spray the whole basement with one color, make it nice and uniform. All the floor is going to get done. The washer dryer over there, we're going to put nice bright washer dryers, maybe a hot red, hot blue, something nice, because it's something that visually is very attractive whenever we're doing something like that. The one thing I want to point out, the furnace in this particular property, this may be an issue. I'm not saying it's going to be, I'm saying it may become an issue because this is a much, much older furnace. I can just look at the size of it and I can say that this is an older furnace. It is Carrier brand, so it's a phenomenal, really good brand of a furnace, but this is older, so this may be something that may come up on the inspection. We're not going to change it. We're going to clean it and just leave it. If they bring it up, I'm prepared to deal with it. A couple things I do want to point out that are important are up here. The way this plumbing is done, it was done by an amateur. I can just look at it and tell you, I'm not a plumber. I don't have to know anything about plumbing, right? I don't even own a screwdriver. But I know this is not how the plumbing is done. If the village looked at this, guess what's going to happen? This is going to fail inspection, and then they're going to go digging, oh, what else is wrong with the property? So this is something that we corrected early on so that you don't give them more reasons to give you a hard time. Electrical box is right over there. That is already updated, so that is something that we don't have to touch, fortunately. It's in pretty good shape. Now, this is something important to look at because whenever all of these are filled up, even though all the things are met and you're doing some work in the property, the town, the village that you live in, they may look at this and say, hey, there is not enough breakers here, meaning you need 2 or 3 of these, 4 of these open where there are no fuses in there, because that's kind of the code in certain villages. Not everybody's going to require that, but they're going to say that the box is full, you need to change that box. Not very tough to do. It may seem like, oh my God, it's going to be expensive. It's not an expensive item. So now that we've looked around the whole property, now we're going to go back upstairs and I'm going to go through the numbers. And I'm going to tell you what exactly the property was bought for. And then we're going to figure out, what do you think about the profit? Is that something that you could do? So let's go upstairs. All right, so now you've looked at the property and I've walked you through what are the things that we're going to do. So remember what I said, on the back end, we're going to try to price this property about $380,000 to $400,000. That's what we're going to try to price it at. So we're going to work backwards on this one, right? We bought this particular property for $245,000. That was our purchase price. So now we're going to start adding all the expenses, and then we're going to basically put in our profit and then figure out, does it make sense? So $245,000 $245,000 is the purchase. For all the work that needs to be done in this particular property, my budget for it is about $30,000 to $35,000, give or take. Probably it's going to end up being about 32 to 33. That includes, remember, the kitchen. It includes the bathroom, includes all the appliances, includes washer dryer downstairs. It includes doing the bathroom upstairs and repainting the house. So it's all of that, about $30,000 to $35,000. So let's just assume it's $35,000. So we bought the property for $245,000. You add $35,000 to that, and then you're going to add your expenses. You're going to add utilities. You're going to add insurance expenses. You're going to add some finance costs. Now, we paid cash for this particular property, but think about it for you. Right? I couldn't always pay cash for these properties. Now I'm able to pay cash for these properties. But when I started, that was not possible. So even though we pay cash today, we still account what if we finance the property, because doesn't our money have value, right? So we're going to put an expense for that line item. And then most importantly, we're going to put selling expenses, which is going to be the attorney costs, which is going to be real estate commission that we're going to pay outside. Even though we save some of the real estate commission because I have a license, still we account for those costs, because those costs are real costs that you would end up paying if you didn't have a license. So we're going to account for those costs, and then we're going to come up with our net number. Now think about this. If you're buying a property for $245,000, you're going to do about $30,000, $35,000 of work, and then you're going to have other expenses as you carry the property. What kind of profit would you like to make, right? What would be fair? Would it be fair to make $25,000? Or would it be fair to try to make $120,000? What is fair? Now, obviously, you're probably chuckling to yourself going, Andrew, obviously I want to make 120. Guys, listen, when you do those numbers, that is fantastic. But on a property like this, given the amount of work that it's going to take, it's about 3 to 4 weeks, and that's it. A realistic number for us is going to be about $80,000 on this. So $245,000 for purchase, $30,000 to $35,000 for rehab. We're going to have some carrying expenses and finance expenses. For that, I'm putting aside about $15,000. And then selling expenses, that's going to be somewhere around another 12 to 15. So I'm putting another another $30,000 aside for all of those. So if we do the math, our rehab cost, we said it was $35,000. Our carrying cost plus selling cost was another $35,000. So that's $65,000, right? And then we're going to add in our profit. So in this particular case, we want about $70,000 in terms of net profit. So if you buy the property at $245,000, you have about $60,000 other expenses, right? Fixing up, selling, carrying costs, all that stuff. And then you put in another $70,000. Well, guess what? You're up to a number of about $360,000. And that is a very realistic number that this property would sell all day long. This, guys, is a home run flip, and this is a moneymaker. This is Andrew Holmes from National RE Invest. I hope you enjoy our videos. Plug in, watch the meetings. They're 100% free. And see you soon on another video.